Hi lovelies, welcome back to Create with Chidex. My name is Chidima, and in today's video I'll be showing you how I made a realistic looking grilled fish cake. This cake was actually inspired by a funny video sent to me on Instagram by my friend of some realistic looking food props made to look just like plates of delicious dishes. So thank you very much Gusta Rush for inspiring this cake idea. Now guys, without wasting so much of your time, let's get started. To start, I carved some pieces of chocolate cake using a photo of a sea bass that I printed and cut out. So I'm using it as a template, and then I'm going to start carving out my cake.
To stop me from hitting the ground, and every goal there was a meaning, for this love ain't kryptonite.
To carve the gill and the eye areas, I've cut these areas on my template, and then using the template I'll trace them out on the cake. Now that I've gotten the basic outlines, I would carve out some more cake from these areas to create the indentations for the eye and the gill. I'm done with the carving process, so now I'll attach the two pieces of cake to each other with some buttercream and then cover the entire cake with buttercream. Next, I'll be covering the cake in grey modeling chocolate, which I'm just rolling in between some parchment paper. I cut off the top part of the parchment paper, so now I'm just trimming the modeling chocolate down. Now, lifting the modeling chocolate with the parchment paper, I'll drape it over the cake to cover it. After I've molded the modeling chocolate onto the cake, I'll take off the parchment paper. Now I'm gonna smoothen the modeling chocolate with my hands. Now I'll use one of my fondant tools to tuck the modeling chocolate underneath the cake and take off the excess. I'll also use the same fondant tool to deepen the dents in the gill area and the eye. Now I'll start working on the finer details of the fish, starting with the gills. To help me, I'll place the template on top of the cake and use my fondant tool to mark out where the other gill openings will be. To help me create these intricate details, I've got my model by the side sitting pretty, so I'll just basically copy what I see. After forming the gill area, I'll also create the cut by the side of the fish. Then I'll make the mouth. I inserted some cream colored modeling chocolate into the cut by the side and also inserted a ball of the same modeling chocolate into the dent for the eye. I lost the clip showing this process, so right now I'm creating the scales using the corner of a plastic dowel. The scales are all done now, so I'll create a line around the perimeter of the fish. Then I'll start making the fins and the tail using the template as my guide.
Can hear every sound calling
Now I'm going to start painting. I've mixed some edible silver dust with some vodka, and I will paint this all over the body of the fish. Now that I've painted the silver, I'll paint on the black as well. The aim is to achieve a gradient effect starting from black down to silver. So the topmost part of the fish will have the darkest color. Now using a pointed brush, I'll paint the center of the eye black. For the herbs, I printed some spring onion photos on edible wafer paper, and I will now paint on a mixture that I made from vodka, edible gel color and glycerin. To take away the stickiness from the wafer paper, I'll dust on some corn flour. I would also paint the back of the wafer papers as well and dust them with corn flour. Now using a scissors, I'll cut the wafer paper spring onions into strips. I poured in some of my magic sculpting liquid into a lemon slice mold that I made with gelatin. If you'd like the recipe to this magic sculpting liquid, I'll leave a link to it in the description below. If you would also like to know how to make reusable gelatin molds such as the one I'm using here, click on the pop-up above. When the magic sculpting liquid that I poured had set, I took it out of the mold. I forgot to mention that I rubbed some oil inside the mold before pouring in the liquid. To make the lemon skin, I rolled a tube of cream colored modeling chocolate and pressed it around the juice sac piece before cutting off the excess. I used my fondant tool to texturize the skin, then I painted it yellow. I made the tomato sauce oil by mixing golden syrup with a little glycerin. Now that I've got everything I need to complete this cake, I'm going to put it together. So for the tomato sauce, I used the same mixture that I used for my Subway cake. You can watch that video by clicking the pop-up above. So now I'm basically smearing the sauce all over the cake. Then I'll pour in the golden syrup oil mixture. Before sprinkling in my herbs. Lastly, I'll garnish the cake with my lemon slice. And there you go. The grilled fish cake is done. And as usual, I'm gonna cut it.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to like it, share it, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.